Hello everyone, welcome back to Confused Engineers Odyssey. In our previous chapter, CSS Basics, we learned what CSS is, how to add CSS to HTML, selectors, colors, text properties, units, and many other fundamentals. Now that you know how to style elements, it's time to understand how those elements actually occupy space on a web page. In this chapter, we'll learn one of the most important concepts in CSS, the CSS Box Model. Once you understand this topic, designing beautiful and responsive websites becomes much easier. So, let's get started.
Every element is a box. Content is the center. Padding sits around it. Border is the boundary, and margin separates them all. Watch the padding grow while the margin pushes.
The CSS Box Model is the foundation of web layouts. Every HTML element, whether it's a paragraph, image, button, or div, is treated as a rectangular box by the browser. This box consists of four important parts: content, padding, border, margin. Understanding these four layers helps us control spacing, alignment, and the overall appearance of every element on our web page. Let's understand each part one by one. The content is the actual text, image, or information inside the element. Around the content comes the padding, which creates space inside the box. Outside the padding is the border, which surrounds the element. Finally, the margin creates space between this element and other elements. A simple way to remember this is content padding border margin. Width and height control only the content area of an element. For example, width 300 px, height 150 px. This doesn't include padding, border, or margin. Many beginners think the total size is only 300 by 150 pixels, but the actual size becomes larger after adding padding and borders. That's why understanding the box model is so important. A border is the visible line around an element. We can control border width, border style, border color. For example, border 2px solid black. We can also make rounded corners using border radius 10px. Borders help highlight buttons, cards, forms, and many UI components. Padding is the space between the content and the border. If we write padding 20px, the content moves away from the border, giving it breathing space. CSS also provides shorthand values using the TRBL rule: top, right, bottom, left. For example, padding 10px 20px 15px 5px. This makes layouts look cleaner and more professional. Margin creates space outside the border. It helps separate one element from another. For example, margin auto is commonly used to center block elements horizontally. Like padding, margin also follows the TRBL shorthand. Remember, padding creates inner spacing. Margin creates outer spacing. This is one of the most frequently asked interview concepts. Every HTML element has a display type. Block elements take the full available width and start on a new line. Inline elements take only the required width and stay on the same line. Inline block combines the advantages of both. Finally, display none completely removes the element from the web page layout. Choosing the correct display property is essential for designing layouts. Let's quickly revise today's concepts. Today we learned CSS Box Model, content, padding, border, margin, width and height. These concepts are the backbone of professional web design. Congratulations! You've successfully completed CSS Chapter 2, CSS Box Model. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Confused Engineers Odyssey. In the next chapter, we'll learn one of the most powerful CSS layout systems, Flexbox, which makes creating responsive layouts much easier. Until then, keep learning, keep building, and I'll see you in the next chapter. Happy coding! Rock it!